On this hike, I went up Cathedral Trail on Katahdin and down Saddle. But first I had to get to Chimney Pond. I didn't plan the trip very well, so I got a late start and really just took a lot of steps and a lot of pictures without ever getting to a peak. The Chimney Pond Trail is a very well-known trail, much traveled. It has a lot of man-made bridges, a lot of man-made stairways, a lot of natural beauty to look at. Has boulders in the path at times, it's flat at times, it's wet and muddy at times. You get a lot of variety, and in general just a really pleasant hike up with a lot to see. Chimney Pond is a destination in itself because it's so beautiful. There's a campground there, and they have signs up just like they do all over the park asking people to be responsible and take care of the park. There's really nicely maintained privies. There's a barrel line because, like I said, people are camping up there and they need a place to hang their food. And this is Chimney Pond. That's Hamlin Ridge in the background. That's the Cathedral Trail ridge that I was going up. And then there's Knife's Edge on the left. Just a really nice shot of the North Basin there with the light coming over it. When I was down there, notice how I was dressed. It was pretty nice and warm, and I started up Cathedral Trail, which goes through the woods only for a little while, but you have boulders right away, and you feel the incline right away. And then you come into a boulder field, and after that, you're climbing up a boulder pile. It became very chilly very quickly on the Cathedral Trail, and it was pretty windy. There's Chimney Pond looking back down on it after I was up a little ways. More boulders, and all of a sudden I had to put all my gear on because it was really cold. You'll see in the foreground of the next picture a little icy patch. I ran into several icy patches and little bits of snow up there. Rocks were very cold on my hands. I met one person on the trail that day, so late October, mid-October doesn't seem to be a very popular time to hike. You can see Chimney Pond and as you look back down in those pictures. That's the North Basin. And that's Knife's Edge. And you can see in the upper right corner a notch. That's the notch on Knife's Edge that everybody talks about back down at Chimney Pond. And we're looking straight out in the distance at South Turner Mountain, which is a fantastic medium difficulty hike. That's Hamlin Ridge. That's the Knife's Edge with the notch again. And just looking back down at where I've come from. And then the boulders end and the little rocks begin. You might notice that some of the signs are painted brown with white letters, very easy to read. Some of them look like this. They all were brown at one time. The weather wreaks havoc on these signs. This is looking across at Tableland, at the top of the Cathedral and Saddle trails. Another sign that looks terrible. And the ground cover of the Tableland. When I got to this sign, I realized it was too late for me to accomplish my original goal, which was to hike Hamlin Ridge. And so I ended up just going back to Roaring Brook Campground via the Saddle Trail. And this view is at the top of Saddle Trail looking down. Saddle Trail is not one of my favorites because there's a lot of loose, scrabbly rocks and your feet slide a lot, and that was my option that day because it was late and I didn't want to get caught in the dark out on the trail. Once I got back to the Chimney Pond Trail, I was 3.3 miles, of course, from going back down a very familiar trail at that point.